Welcome everyone to Nagoya, Japan, the fourth largest city here in Japan with a population of 2.3 million. It is the Senior Grand Prix final. It's the top 6 in each discipline. It is the best of the best going head to head as we close out the first half of the skating season and welcome into a new brand arena here in Nagoya. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Hanratty as we get you set for this much anticipated event, the men's short program. Mark?
Yes, the men's short program, the discipline that has created from this country some of the best the sport has ever known. Of course, Yuzuru Hanyu has to be mentioned, the Japanese skater who was two-time Olympic champion, and he, alongside so many others, the likes of Shoma Uno, also responsible for making such amazing memories in our sport in men's figure skating. But as we look ahead to this event, it is unlikely to be success for a Japanese skater at the top of the podium based on what we have seen this season and perhaps a little based on what we have seen in practice here, because Ilya Malinin, the reigning world champion, has been running away from the rest of the field this season. Well, welcome live inside the IG Arena. Mark, it's the men's event and we have been watching the practice, a quad festival, if you will, amazing athletes simply flying down the ice and through the air at ridiculous speeds with near perfect flight paths. Looks great, is great, but in competition takes on an added risk and tension. Yes, and having seen the pairs event unfold in the short program just moments ago, we did get a little insight into the consequences of competition and the consequences of competition in the Olympic season, and skaters making perhaps uncharacteristic mistakes. Definitely a reaction to what we sense and feel in this arena. Heightened expectation and heightened pressure. I really wish people around the world, or those that don't know much about skating, could truly appreciate how difficult the sport is. It's beautiful, therefore it's deceiving. You know, it is spectacularly, physically, psychologically brutal. We talked about this being a brutal sport. And the speed in which these skaters perform difficult elements and risky elements and then have to perform connected to the music and tell a story, it's extraordinary in itself. And actually, when you talk about, you know, we as skaters for our entire lives know what to expect, or we have a benchmark as we see the names of the judges on screen for what is admirable. We respect the skaters already, but I would say, Ted, that having watched practices in this event in the men's competition, I now think I have to recalibrate my appreciation, because what I have seen here in Nagoya at the practices has blown my mind for what is now necessary for success in the discipline. Some of the technical elements being worked on and some of the program component scores that I saw in practice were sublime. And if you stand beside the rink, it's like you're in a windstorm. It's 10 degrees colder because of the speed of these athletes just create this whirl of wind in the building. It's just remarkable. And as they just fly down the ice, you will not really feel that on the monitor for sure. You've got to go to a live event to understand how brilliant it is. I think, of course, with the camera, the lens following the athletes, you lose perspective of them in ratio to the ice rink size. And from our position here within this amazing IG arena, we have a really great concept of the different speeds and ice coverage that the skaters have, and in terms of how that will impact the scores, that does factor into both the skating skills and the composition. The amount of speed and the amount of ice coverage will be rewarded by the judges. You know, it wasn't long ago that when people would talk about a quad jump, you go, really? You know, is that possible? And now we talking about 5 rotations, of course, and the man who has led the way in the last few years, Ilya Malinin, he will skate last as we get introduced to the group. I love this opening, love the set. It's exciting. There's a look backstage. They prepare to be introduced to the audience here. Our first competitor, representing Italy, Daniel Guazzo. And representing Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shadorov.
as he calmly walks out. It's interesting to see the difference in how people sort of, the energy, right?
And whilst they all have to be extroverted in performance, we do get an insight into some of the different approaches mentally, characteristically, as the humans enter the arena.
Exactly. Representing France, Adam Siho-Himpa. And there's energy. Representing Japan, Shun Sato. And also representing Japan, Yuma Kageyama.
Oh, he's joining in with the drumming.
He's joining with the drums. Skating last in this event, representing the United States of America, Ilya Malinin. Oh. Okay, Mark, your pre-event thoughts.
I really was blown away in practice today, and obviously as part of our job and as part of a forever lover of the sport, I feel fairly connected to what is happening in the world of figure skating. But being on site in this arena today earlier in practice just really amazed me, because the men, you know, if I think back generations of skating ago, decades ago, the men maybe showcased superior technical skill in regards to the jumping. So we think of, you know, the wonderful Elvis Stoico, a two-time Olympic silver medalist who pushed quads into the conversation more. He was renowned as a technical skater. And then we've had the likes of, you know, the glorious Jason Brown as an artist. But in this group of men, as we watched Daniel Grassel warming up, I was so mindful of the all-roundedness of so many of the athletes. And I was really conscious watching today of the way in which this group of men are really pushing every aspect of the competitive realm.
And you know, one of the things that I was thinking about as I was watching practice and this event upcoming, of course, is I always wanted the audience to understand how difficult the sport was, but we didn't have the data. We had our opinions on our knowledge, and we've been in the sport a long time, so hopefully they trust that to a certain degree. But how fast are they going? I don't want to say they're going fast. I want to say it's 25 kilometers an hour. And I want to say how high were they when they jumped? It's 2.5 feet. And how many pounds of pressure when they land on that? It's 2,000 pounds of pressure when they land on that out of the air. It's essentially, what is the science of the sport? We know, we think, we believe that AI will be bringing that to this sport. Now, will that be part of the judgment? I don't know. That's for the ISU to decide, but it certainly will help us as commentators provide enough information. People go, whoa, they're going how fast? They're how high? How hard is that? Because otherwise, we're just trying to explain something that's really scientific in non-scientific terms.
Yes, and I think for the, you know, for us as skaters and the skating community, they have some grasp and comprehension for the difficulty, but the hardship for those that are newer to viewing this amazing spectacle is appreciating the difficulty when it has to be delivered with such an effortlessness, because effortlessness is what they must showcase.
That's true, and effortless is brilliant for the sport, but it's not so brilliant for making people understand how difficult it is, right?
As we see Adam Siho-Himpa sporting a different costume for this event. And there, Shun Sato, who I now think could be putting himself into the conversation slightly differently, because earlier in the season, I was wondering who would make the Japanese Olympic team, and Shun Sato would be one that I assumed had to be fighting and battling for one of those 3 coveted spots to make the Japanese Olympic team. However, as the season is unfolding and as the practices took place, maybe not this warm-up, Shun Sato made me start to consider him as an Olympic medalist as opposed to an Olympic participant.
Yeah, it's interesting. We saw a really good practice this morning. He looks a little bit anxious and a little bit rushing the timing of the takeoff, and it's a big moment in front of a home crowd. And you're right, the senior national Japanese championship coming up soon. There's a beautiful quad toe, triple toe loop combination, and he wants to put it all together at this moment, everything happening within a couple weeks in order to live that Olympic dream.
And there on screen now, Yuma Kageyama. And in terms of the discussion about effortlessness and appreciation for the difficulty of our sport, Yuma Kageyama probably makes it most difficult of all, because he just floats across the ice. His skating skill, his run of the blade is arguably the best in the entire world, and I, as a purist, just so appreciate that brilliance. But maybe, as you've just discussed, maybe those that are newer to the sport may struggle to comprehend all the work that's gone in to get to that point.
And there is the current world champion, Ilya Malinin, and I don't know whether he makes it look easy or he makes it look difficult. It's just absolutely brilliant skating. And you mentioned that you felt, well, maybe the skating skills of Shun was, or of Yuma were a little bit better. Then when you saw the program, you said, whoa, I'm going to back off of that and say, because he was demonstrating extreme skating skills this morning.
And actually, it wasn't just from Ilya this morning, the skating skill necessarily, but the composition and the presentation. And he has, blown us all away with what we might see now.
Quad axle.
Yes. I mean, that combo, quad axle, triple toe, is just nuts, crazy, mental. But also some of the choreography this morning was nuts, crazy, mental. It was just amazing, his unique choice of movement, and it really, this morning, very, very much impressed me.
Listen, I'm an old dog. I've been around this sport for a long time, and I have never, ever seen anything so physical as the performance that we saw this morning from Ilya in the short and in the free program. So, sit back and enjoy it and understand the defying gravity that he displays in that program.
We could be seeing, history-making combination with the quad axle into triple toe. And yesterday he was working on quintuple jumps. And just for me, even hearing myself talk about a skater practicing quintuple jumps is mind-blowing.
Yeah, we saw him this morning. We were chatting with him, and he mentioned that he was trying to. You asked him the question, were you trying to a quint?
Well, I saw somebody posting online saying he was doing it. I watched avidly the practice and I didn't spot it. And so I said, oh, you weren't surely practicing a quint? Oh, no, I was.
He nodded yes. Here we go. The men's short program here in Nagoya, the Grand Prix final. We will start with Daniel Grazzo representing Italy.
And Daniel performing his short program to a special piece of music created for him. It's to the Italian composer Stefano Lentini. This is their second year of collaboration. They've titled the track Tango per la Libertà, Tango for Freedom, a positive message for them in this time. Quad lutz, triple toe, the opening jump combination. Followed up by quad loop, probably short of rotation on the landing. That will be reviewed by the technical panel. Best of the jumps, triple axel.
Well, Mark, it's extraordinary what can happen from the morning practice session to the competition, because this morning I felt Daniel was, struggling a little bit. It was a little bit all over the map, and he's a good skater, no question, but I did not see this program coming here tonight. That was, for him, brilliant.
And Daniel, qualifying for the Grand Prix final again, as he has done before, made it with only 20 points, and that doesn't happen so regularly. He had a 5th and a 2nd on the Grand Prix, but the results throughout the series were a little bit bizarre, and that's why he has made it to be one of the top 6 participants. But that short program and that delivery absolutely confirms his rightful participation.
In the first 3 elements of this short program, he gained over 40 points. But he had plus GOEs, good quality, opening quality on this quad Lutz triple toe loop. Spectacular. Take us through it, Mark.
For me, there's quite a bit of pre-rotation. You can see a lot happening on the ice, but so much better than in practice this morning. Again, a little bit of pre-rotation, a little bit of leg wrapping, but lovely landing position. Here, the quad loop, just have to look, and it comes in at a Q mark, so it receives the full base value, just an impact on the grade of execution. This how, more height, more length in the triple axle, and how absurd that I'm talking and analysing quad loops, triple toe as I am, but that a testament to the strength of the men's field that we're nitpicking combinations of that absurd, nature. This was the highlight for me. Change camel spin, the difficult feature position with the difficult change of edge, and maintaining the speed. Really, really brilliant.
You could see how excited he was, because for him, compared to this morning, that was simply his best.
Well, after competing at the Cup of China, his first event, he was quoted as saying that he couldn't wait before the event for it to be over, but then when he hit the ice, he really enjoyed it, and hopefully he really enjoyed that
Well,
performance.
season's best, 90.42. And on this day, it's a new season's best with a 94. Wow.
Fantastic.
First skater out. Tilt of the head going, okay, that's pretty good.
And further confirmation that he absolutely solidifies his place, because that score could be competitive as we wait to see how things unfold.
There is a look at Alexei Urmanov, Olympic champion from years gone by. His coach, Mikhail Shadorov, representing Kazakhstan.
And Mikhail, the first Kazakhstan skater to qualify for the Senior Grand Prix final. And he has had so much buzz and excitement this season following the world silver medal that he had last year, and he's returning to the short program that he used en route to that world silver medal this year. Fall on the opening quad loops. He had intended for that to be the jump combination. Stepping out of the quad toe, wanted the combination to be placed on that quad jump as well. Mikhail Shaidarov, and now Ted, this morning in practice we were referencing how impressive it was to see the first competitor, Daniel Grassel, deliver a skate that was not reflective of what we saw earlier today. So Mikhail, this is a little bit more reflective of what we saw in practice, and interestingly, his choreographer Ivan Regini, who's so passionately supportive of his student, had explained that there's a lot more pressure this season, and so they have been struggling a little bit, and they said they're trying to manage the struggles, and he simply said we just need to work. And so it gives us a little bit of an insight into some of the challenges that Mikhail has had with that increased expectation placed upon him.
Well, we've seen him deliver wonderful technical elements, difficult elements, and skate beautifully, but he's chasing that elusive clean program. But there's still time in the season, and as his coach says, we need to get to work.
Yeah.
And find it.
And you, at this junction in the season, he's very much in the thick of it, and sometimes it's a little hard to kind of step outside the bubble and reconnect with what he knows. Quad lutz, gorgeous rotational position, but just as a bit like what we saw in practice, just not confidently sticking a running edge. Even here on the triple axel, we've seen him do some mesmeric jump combinations with triple axel, but a little tight there too. Beautiful air position.
The quad toe a little bit short, I believe, on the rotation, although none of the elements are under review here, so. And
returning to this Dune short program that he used last season, which was so successful, you know, maybe chasing something that just helps him to feel more confident. And unfortunately, it's not been the magic elixir, changing the music and returning to what he knew before. He's still just having to find that mental brain space to physically deliver.
Well, if it was easy that all skaters all the time would do it, it's so difficult, and that is an indication to the audience who doesn't know much about skating, may not know much about skating. That's how hard it is.
And what I love to see here is the 1994 Olympic champion Urmanov. You know, he's got his back, his arm's going around him. He's not, you know, he's obviously analyzing now technically with his hand gesture, but he's there to support the skater. And I know Ivan Regini, his choreographer, is so supportive. His father was his coach, Stanislav Shaidarov, as well. There's a support network. Everybody around Mikhail wants the best for him. Everybody's sending him the energy to make this come good.
And they know, Alexei Urmanov knows it's a journey, and it's ups and downs. It has its hills and its valleys and its peaks and the successes and the failures along the way. And he has to help him through this to find, you know, higher ground. Take a look at Adam Siho Himfa, the next skater. It's a tough one. Quite often the skaters sit in the kiss and cry, and they, you know, wish they could go right back out on the ice and do it
again.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, Mikhail, he was injured heading into the 2022 Olympics. He had a back injury in 2021, so that negated his participation then. So, you know, perhaps that's adding another further layer of desperation to showcase himself in this Olympic season 4 years later. There are so many facets which hang heavy on the mind of the skater.
It's hard to know. You know, it's, you know, speculation on our part.
Yes.
You know, what we're doing is giving you a list of possibilities, and we don't really know unless they tell us, but we know it's a pressure sport. We know it's physically and psychologically demanding. We also know there'll be highs and lows.
And we also know that Mikhail Shaidarov is incredibly good.
Oh, yes.
He's just not showcasing that in clean skates yet this season.
Short program scores for Mikhail, 71.30. That will put him into second place. One of the most exciting skaters in the world, representing France, Adam Siho Himfa.
And fascinating to have heard from his coaching staff earlier, who were explaining that they built this season with everything with a long-term vision, choosing carefully when they want Adam to reach his peak. And now, at this point in the season, he's hoping to start climbing that mountain towards the greatest peak of all.
Well, he'll skate the short to Leonardo da Vinci.
under-rotated and fall on the opening quadruple loops. Monstrously big triple axel. Further mistakes with the quad toe loop. Not sure anybody gives as much energy into their step sequence as Adam does. So much conviction to the choreography. France's Adam Himpa completes a challenging short program performance. Mistakes on both of the quadruple jumps will be costly. And consequently, Ted, that does have an impact on one of his greatest strengths, the presentation.
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, those mistakes, unfortunately, they're so obvious when you see a skater fall or step out of an element, and then you lose the, you know, recognition of the brilliance of that last step sequence. Is just unbelievable, and it matters, and it gets points, and he did a great job. What has he got? Set level 4 and a plus GOE of 1.56, so he gets what he deserves on that, but it takes the focus away a bit because of the mistakes.
Yes, that step sequence practiced yesterday was just mind-blowing and so energetic. But of course, quadruple jumps are the most weighted and most valuable elements, and making mistakes, as happened in this performance for Adam, pull him out of contention. We assume, with 3 more skaters to go, but we have to wait to see how the men will unfold. It's just slipped on takeoff, and actually, I think he's very lucky to get a Q mark on that.
Yeah.
I think that was at least under-rotated. It's the biggest skid on the takeoff, just forcing him to get lots of height, not as much length in the jump. And then just over-rotating a little bit with the body. What Adam does have, though, is such unique movement. The collaboration with choreographer Benoit Richaud offers us, I mean, movement like that, like, very unique, but he is invested, and that's the important aspect, is that, you know, if you've got unique movement, it's not unique for the sake of being novel. It has to be delivered with a commitment, and he does do that.
He's one of the great skaters to watch, there's no question, but it is a sport, and it's being measured by the technical elements, as you mentioned, heavily scored, and too many big mistakes here on this night, but he's still a brilliant skater.
Oh, and he is the comeback king. He's
absolutely, much more to come, we'll see. 78.49 for Adam Himpa from France. That'll put him currently in the 2nd place. Our next skater represents Japan. Bit of a rough start to the warm-up a little earlier. We'll see what he comes out with in the short program. Shun Sato.
And Shun Sato was third at the Grand Prix final last year. He won the junior Grand Prix final 6 years ago. Can he be the surprise contender to take the senior title in 2025?
Well, his 96.67 season's best. He'll skate the short program to Ladies in Lavender.
Shun opens with his quadlutes comfortably and successfully done. There's an effortless quad toe, triple toe combination. Little tight on the triple axel landing. The 21-year-old Shun Sato from Japan absolutely delivers in a way the previous two performers have struggled to do. I'm just looking, Ted, and considering what's going to happen, because I feel that Shun Sato has been chasing 100-point scoring short program for so many events, and he's simmering close currently.
Yeah, he's ever so close. We'll see lots of work still being done. There's two elements under review by the technical panel, so that may change the score up or down. We'll find out in just a few moments, but really a brilliant skate. He covered up the choreography, or with choreography.
The triple axel.
Yeah, the triple axel a little bit, but other than that, that was just a fabulous performance. Wonderful skating skills, great jumping skills as well.
And a consistency which is rare to see perhaps in the men's field. And what's particularly good to hear is that Shun is now pain-free. He competed successfully on the Grand Prix series, but marred with injury that he was masking. Here, quadlutes. And ticking criteria for good grade of execution. Judges want to see good height and good length. That certainly has good height and good length. Good quality takeoff and landing, I would agree. And an effortlessness throughout. So I think it's at least a +3 as we see Tadao.
And interesting, Marco, as you take a look at the GOE scores for each one of the elements, there are 2 that are pretty high, but the rest are not above 1. So that's going to be...
Well, as we see him squeeze the triple axel landing, for me, with Shun Sato, the thing that's preventing that 100-point marker for him in the short program is the spin quality. So where he showcases good quality jumping passes, comparative to even Daniel Grassel, who leads the field currently, his clarity of position and the speed in which he rotates his spins are just that missing factor to prevent him from crossing the 100-point threshold. And I so desperately want it. And I also want it for his coach, Tadao Kosaka, because his reaction, which we have grown to love seeing on the series, would be wondrous to behold. But I think on this occasion it's another...
Well, he has a season's best at 96.67. He might beat that here with this score. Will he reach the 100-point mark? No, just a bit short, but it is a season's best. His coach is still excited as he takes over the lead with a 98.06.
I want to see him get 100 points for him, but also his coach as well. I hope that happens at some point this season.
There is a look at the new leader with 2 skaters to come, and his compatriot teammate is up next, Yuma Kageyama.
And Yuma is just such an artist, and this short program music created specifically for his program with world-acclaimed pianist Hayato Sumino and a Polish guitarist Marcin also collaborating, everybody working together to create not just athletic brilliance, but artistic and creative brilliance for this star.
Well, 98.58 is his season's best, earning that NHK trophy. He'll skate to I Wish.
Such quality on the quad toe triple toe combination. And the quality continues with that wondrous quadruple salto. Now the next element caused Yuma problems in practice this morning. Triple axel coming up. And he solidly secures it.
That was incredible.
Just a masterful example of what constitutes quality in both the technical element score and the program component scores from Japan's Yuma Kageyama. It's the short program that has been the more problematic for him, and this was the skate that he's been hoping for all season thus far. And you know, we've talked with the previous skater Shun Sato about crossing the 100-point marker. That will sail across 100 points.
Well, the choreography in this program is brilliant, but he made it shine through the execution of that. It's just spectacular when the performance matches the choreography.
And sometimes I get frustrated when you see a skater of such brilliance unable to be rewarded from the program component scores when the technical mistakes evade that. But this really was an example of, he's always a brilliant skater, but as you, I think you used the word shine as his father hugs him. That it shines when they go clean as Catalina gets a high five.
And you could see the tears in the eyes of his father as his son came off the ice after that brilliant skate.
So good height, good length, good takeoff, good landing, effortless, musicality. This has to be pushing towards maximum grades of execution with that quad toe, triple toe combination. And as Salco's just, it's the sponginess of his landings that I adore. And he has less base value than Ilya Malinin. His quadruple jumps are not deemed as difficult, but his delivery and execution really boosts the base value.
Well, Mark, he added 14 points because of the GOE scores. That's incredible.
And actually, you know, as we see this triple axel, which he fell on in practice this morning, it's not, Yuma just is the package. It's the jump quality, the spin quality, and then the wonderful work that he's done with Laurie Nickel and Carolina Kostner to kind of present and package everything so superbly.
And there's the reward.
And this is the development since the last Olympic cycle where he came second. He's just exuding more and more expression.
Now, Mark, will this or might this program and this score that we're about to see challenge Malinin?
Well, if we see better than that, we're going to be ultimately rewarded in an epic fashion. And you know what I love here is Carolina and his father, let him take center stage. It's not about them.
Short program score is, remember, his season's best is 98.58, but this is a 108.77. New season's best. He's thrilled. High five with Dad. And a hug with Carolina Kostner.
He's been waiting to top the short program score he achieved at the Olympics in Beijing for a full Olympic cycle, and he's just done it, a new PB.
That is amazing. He sets himself up well for not only this event, but the lead up to the Olympic Games, of course, next week, the Japanese Senior National Championship. There he is. The current world champion. Just listen to that score of 108. So the pressure might be a little on, but he's going for a world record himself.
Yes, having set a new world record in the free skate already this season, can he add to it with a world record in the short program? And we could be about to see history-making jump combination. The first element planned here is a quad axel triple toe. We've seen this epic combination multiple times in practice this week, but now is when it counts. Not today, stepping out of the quad axel. He manages to deliver a quad lutz triple toe. Well, he celebrated his 21st birthday in Nagoya this week. The world champion Ilya Malinin, he has been undefeated for so long. That skate, unfortunately, will be unlikely to, well, that won't beat Yuma today. And I have raved about what I saw this morning in practice endlessly to anybody who will listen. You have to believe is that what was, he is amazing.
Yeah.
This was not vintage Ilya, but what it does do is give us a competition which we haven't necessarily been able to enjoy this season thus far between the top contenders.
Well, no question, this was Yuma's night so far for sure, and Ilya Malinin, what we saw in practice was unearthly, really.
Yes.
But on tonight, he was clearly on earth, and there was a mistake. He's human, you know, and what he's doing is the most difficult on the planet, with two blades.
You know, you're right. His humanity in this performance maybe just helps us to appreciate the inhumane stuff that he's given. Here we go, spread eagle changing edge, entering into quad axel. It didn't look like he got the same pop, the same elevation that we have seen, and indeed, consequently, it's not fully rotated, and that's unlike so many of the attempts that we've seen in practice. He's delivered a multitude of quad axel triple toe combinations. As we see the triple axel, and even that was a little tight. And then this, the quad lutz later in the program, and that too tight, and impressive to rotate a triple toe on the landing of that quad lutz where others would never have considered to put a triple in place of a double. And here with the backflip, Ilya said that he really wants to change the sport and bring back the prime days of skating. And he is the poster child for that with what he delivers, not just with the likes of the quad axel and the backflip, but also some of the unique movement choice.
Well, he's provided such brilliant moments in the past, and there will be many more in the future. On this night, it was a bit shy, and we saw brilliance from Yuma Kageyama of Japan. We'll take a look at Ilya's score. His season's best is 108.87, and this is going to fall quite short of that. Wow. 94.05, that is third in the short program. Not necessarily a bad thing overall, but he was trying such difficult.
Well, the trajectory this season has been just so far removed from everybody else. As you say, maybe it does just ground him towards the biggest stage of all, the Olympic Games.
Wow.
Well, I don't bet, but having come into this event, if I was going to bet on anything, it would have been Ilya Malinin winning the men's event. So, again, further excitement.
He's 14 points shy. Now, does he have the weaponry to do it? He does.
He won his last event by such a country margin that it's still far from out with the realms of possibility that he will take the title.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. Not necessarily a bad thing for Ilya. I mean, you never plan it, you don't want it, that's for sure. But, you know, having to sort of fight your way back after a short program. And he decided, listen, I'm not playing it safe and just going clean. I am going to go for a world record on I will continue to push the sport, which he's doing, and that runs a risk.
And you're so right. That's a young man that continues to push the sport, and he, passionately takes that objective. And there he is, Ilya Malinin. There, the triple axel. And even here, I mean, scarcely credible to consider that we find a skater in third place with a combination like quad lutz, triple toe, and a backflip to boot.
There's much more to come, that's for sure.
And so much to the delight of the audience, though, Ilya has offered the lead to go to the top two skaters from the host nation. Shun Sato, I'm sure, had he been told coming into this event that he would finish above the world champion after the short program, he would have been delighted. Still, the 100-point marker elusive, but a consistency in this skate that really cements his position likely on the Japanese Olympic team come February. But the night undoubtedly goes to Yuma Kageyama. The reigning Olympic silver medalist was resplendent across every aspect of his short program today. And now he, the only skater on this occasion to come away with a personal best as we see him.
That was pure joy.
Oh, yes.
For us and for him.
Too true.
That was incredible. What a great night. Well, that concludes our coverage of the senior men's short program. Up next, the senior rhythm dance, and that is going to be quite the competition. Stay with us. Senior dance coming right up.
1位というね、本当にコーチとして嬉しいです。
本当のコーチなんですね。
本当のコーチです。
そうなんですね。役割とかそういうんじゃなかったんですね。はい、素晴らしいです。ありがとうございます。という感じで皆様にもやっていただきます。見事勝った方にはね、商品もありますので皆さんぜひアピールしてみてください。さあそれでは今のベストリアクションやってもいいよという方、大きくアピールしてください。お願いします。一回戻りますか。じゃあ行きますか。もうねベストリアクションしてる。じゃあそこのあなたではいお願いいたします。はい、それでは行きましょうか。小松原さん、はい、得点の発表をお願いいたします。
いきます。女子ショートプログラムお客様の得点77.05。